Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A sort of type of video leading into the 11th episode for The Walking Dead Season 8, as well as starting to get closer to the premiere date for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts first on how we feel about the possibility of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead merging into one show. And potential spoiler warning if you are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to Season 8, Episode 10, as well as for Fear the Walking Dead, because we will be including kind of discussions for both, and a lot of the questions that are coming in right now for the channel are for both. You have some for The Walking Dead, and you have some for Fear, so we have, kind of a nice mix, and I'm going to start probably, including questions for Fear the Walking Dead in the Walking Dead videos, because, I can't always dedicate one entire video to Fear until Fear actually starts at the end of this the season for The Walking Dead Season 8. But very excited. Lots more stuff coming for Fear. We've got some character portrait pictures that have been released, so I'll probably do a video on that. We'll give our thoughts on those. Picked up Robert Kirkman, who of course created The Walking Dead, new comic series called Oblivion's Song. So pick this one up here, issue number 1. Darn my light. It says 1 there. Issue number 1, Oblivion's Song, pretty cool. So I'll have a review for that posted for you guys, probably tomorrow or something, because it is a pretty big deal. It's his next series that he's doing. He's still releasing Walking Dead and everything. I picked up Walking Dead Volume 29, Lines We Cross. So I got to do a review for that. I've reviewed every trade for The Walking Dead in the channel if you guys haven't seen them. So those are, just a heads up for those. Those are coming. Want to get around to it this weekend or maybe next week. Whenever we get time. But this one came in from Kekker, who says, Trev, do you think they are making new spin-offs because The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead will merge into one show? Would love to hear your thoughts on this. And I did a video this week. If you guys didn't see it, it was on Wednesday, and it's about them possibly doing more Walking Dead spin-off series. And yes, I'm serious. This is one that Scott Gimple, of course, in his new position, kind of waited on in an interview. So I did a video on it on Wednesday. And there's a lot of speculation right now, a lot of different sites kind of reporting that we may be seeing kind of another Walking Dead series, which we gave our thoughts on. And mainly what, I saw mostly from that is that we don't want them to oversaturate, and do like 3 Walking Dead series each year. Would be kind of crazy. I feel like they've done a really good job with The Walking Dead. They've done a good job with Fear, releasing that too, and adding on another one would be kind of crazy. But the possibility of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead merging, I mean, it's starting to happen now with the crossover of Morgan and the time shift for Fear, getting into the time frame where they can actually have Morgan crossover. So we're starting to kind of see some merging here, some crossover here. Will we ever see a character go back the other way from Fear into The Walking Dead? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, because if they're having Morgan go this way, could we eventually see Morgan back in the other series at some point if he's kind of like a traveler type of character where he might go and stay with a group for a while, but then eventually he decides to kind of travel around, and that's kind of his thing, which, to be honest, would be kind of cool for Morgan. Would really bring him out as a a very close, like, number 2 type character to Rick in the series overall, with the importance of having him being able to leave one series, go to the other, maybe even go back or something, and just kind of travel around and have his own kind of stories that he can do. That is, if he, survives all the way through. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. But the possibility of them, like, rebranding Fear, so it's just The Walking Dead all the way through. I like what they're doing with this whole The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead thing, where you have Fear, it's got its own feel, it's got its own characters, it's got its own vibe, but you're taking a little bit from The Walking Dead with Morgan, crossing him into Fear, and it still feels weird. I was going through the character pictures for the season for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, which I'll have a video on for you guys probably tomorrow or something. We'll take a look at that. And I see Morgan in a lot of these pictures, and I'm just like, okay, Fear, Morgan, and I just get tripped out because, like, what am I doing? Like, am I doing Fear? Am I doing The Walking Dead? It's starting to feel more like they're the same thing. It's starting to feel, even just by adding him in there, it's throwing my mind through a loop because I'm so used to keeping Fear chunked in its own section where, you know, it's got its own characters, it's got its own location, its own story, and its own time frame, and that's totally separate from The Walking Dead. So it's night and day which one you're looking at. You know, this one clearly with the Fear characters is Fear, and over here you got The Walking Dead with Morgan and Rick and everybody else. So the lines are starting to be a bit blurred. You're starting to see this cross, and it's really cool. And I think in the future, with him kind of becoming, with Scott Gimple becoming like this, you know, more of a Walking Dead brand type of creative manager type of deal, content chief or whatever, you know, whatever fancy title, Apache, whatever, you know, fancy title they want to give him. I'm just kidding, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So, you know, to be able to manage like all the different walking stuff they do, and them having more projects coming, I would not be surprised in the future if we see more merging between the shows, more crossover between the shows. There's got to be a reason why they decided to get Fear up to the same time frame to have Morgan come in, and it probably opens up some nice possibilities to have the opposite go as well, or to do some things as far as that goes, which is cool. You know, it's fun. So that's kind of the closest I think. I think they'll always probably keep it The Walking Dead original and Fear kind of separate, and kind of, you know, have certain things merge or certain things go. But I really would highly doubt we would ever see them do like The Walking Dead all the way through, and instead of it saying Fear, you just have The Walking Dead and then commercials for that. It also gets confusing for fans, so I think it's better if you keep them this way, and you have both shows anchored to their you know, original characters. And then maybe you could do some kind of big crossover event or something, which would be kind of the dream, I think, for this, would be eventually if you can coordinate and do a crossover in season 10 or something of The Walking Dead, where you have, you know, like an episode where you have both groups, you know, or a small story arc of like 3 or 4 episodes where both groups entirely, you know, see each other, meet each other, something like that. That would just be like the ultimate kind of thing. Of course, you couldn't have one group kill the entire other group, otherwise you kill the show. But you could have them kind of maybe get into a little bit and, you know, not know if they can trust each other, and I don't know. You could do something with that. So we'll have to see if they ever decide to do that. It'd be kind of like a AMC, I don't know, crossover Super Bowl type Walking Dead event where you have, you know, some kind of big meet between the two or something in an episode, even if it's just a couple. That would be really cool, but I would obviously not be surprised if we never saw it. It's just that we may be starting to see kind of the beginnings of that kind of thing, and that would be cool if they decide to do that. Darren Dodson says, Fear the Walking Dead looks to be eventually, merging with The Walking Dead and become one show in the future. So he said the same thing, and that's why I wanted to include this one, because a lot of people were kind of chattering, talking about that for sure. Dominick Ambrosio says, hey Trev, what are your thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead overcoming the ratings of The Walking Dead Season 8 as a whole? I think Fear the Walking Dead will beat The Walking Dead. The reason why, they keep their leaks locked down now and keep infusing new character arcs. So I won't disagree with you, Dominic, that it's very exciting. I don't think that Fear will ever beat the ratings of The Walking Dead in the same year. So they have kind of beaten The Walking Dead ratings if you're going like series premiere of Fear with 10 million U.S. viewers. The Walking Dead's most recent episode, which we'll get into in another Q&A probably on Sunday or maybe Saturday, with the most recent episode being under 7 million viewers. So more people watched the premiere of Fear than they did, maybe the second episode too. I forget what the second episode's views are. I have to look at the wiki, but Fear premiered with more viewers than The Walking Dead got for this most recent episode on last Sunday, episode 10. So that right there is very crazy to even think about, that Fear even has an episode ranked that had more buzz, even at the start. Like, it was just the start. So obviously it was the premiere of the series, the highest the series will probably ever get. But, you know, it started off with more buzz than The Walking Dead currently has for its regular episodes. So that's something to be thought of, and something to say, which is kind of interesting. But in terms of like season to season, like this season for season 4 of Fear with its premiere, I highly doubt its premiere ratings would be higher than The Walking Dead season 8's finale ratings. You know, you guys get what I'm saying here? I really highly doubt we'll ever see that. But I'll tell you what, Dominic, if that does happen, you could say I told you so, Trev, because I'm thinking Fear will never be bigger than The Walking Dead. I don't care, no matter what they do with it. It's not the original series. It probably will never be the same size as the original series. I can never see it getting as much buzz as the original show. You know, even for one episode in the same year. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, same airing year. So, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. But we'll see, because there is. I want to say for Walking Dead fans, there's a lot of buzz for Fear right now for Season 4. And maybe more buzz for the Season 4 premiere than the Walking Dead Season 8 finale? I don't know. You know, maybe almost as much, or for some people more. So we'll see. We'll see what the results are. And, of course, I'll let you guys know after when we do get to actually see them, because it's always fun to see how popular Walking Dead is at any given time. Connected VG says AMC is going to be the next CW channel with The Walking Dead. Multiple shows in one universe. Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Lost, or Lot. Well, they have the kind of the DC shows, right? The Arrow and the Flash and all that, Supergirl and all that. So, Legends of Tomorrow, I think was what he was saying by Lot. Yeah, they do have kind of a TV station version of DC Universe, which, I mean, it's you know, it's okay. it's all right. You know, obviously it's never going to be as epic as the big screen, but for The Walking Dead, maybe you're right. Maybe The Walking Dead will add on some other kind of TV movie or something. I think personally, now that they've done both series and they have both series running, if you want to add on anything, you have to go, I think, for movies. I think you do. You either have to go for like TV specials, movies, things like that, or a cinema movie. You know, but you could do some cool kind of TV movies. You could do like a Negan. That's something you could do by itself. Would be like a Negan. Here's Negan introductory, his backstory. You know, AMC movie. You know, you might not be able to put it in, you know, your cinema, the big screen, but you could have it be like a couple hour block as like a TV movie. You guys get what I'm saying? For something like that. You could do something like that, or like a special extra episode where you do something like that. That'd be cool. You know, so we'll have to see if they do decide to do something like that. But with the popularity of the series kind of, I'm not sure how much they're going to want to add on versus, you know, kind of like, it's kind of tricky. When something's not as high in demand as it was a couple years ago, do you really want to try to give people more of it? It's kind of a tricky question, right? It's, but you know, I mean, as the fans, you know, your hardcore fans are going to want to see probably everything you do for Walking Dead, really, which is me and most of you guys. So that's what it is. We'll do a couple more. BWolf20 says, I was confused for the reason of the character titles in episode 10, The Walking Dead. But then I figured they were probably trying to reference Carl's letters with everyone's name on them. Even though I'm sure he didn't write a letter to Simon or Jadis, LOL. If they were trying to symbolize the letters, I think it was a little bit or a little much to do it like that, but I imagine this is the only episode they'll do that style for. And that was my criticism in my review video. If you guys saw it, you know that I didn't really like how they broke kind of the usual kind of pattern they use for Walking Dead, where, and they've done it sometimes before. They did some black and white scenes in the season 6 premiere where you had like certain scenes in black and white for then and now. And they did do that too in like No Sanctuary. You had like then and now and that kind of deal. So I get it. You're trying to tell the audience what they're seeing. You're trying to make it easy for the casual viewer. The problem is when do you roll that out? And is that something that if you're going to do it, you have to do it every episode? I personally feel like if you're going to go with a certain theme, if you have The Walking Dead's intro and it comes in and you hear The Walking Dead tune, you know, as it's going through, you kind of have to stick with that. You can switch it once a season or every couple seasons, and that's good to reinvent it and change it up a little bit, change the colors, change whatever, the images, you know, instead of an iron, you switch it to something else, I don't know, whisper skin on a spike or something in the future, whatever. Black, you change it black, dark red for whispers in season 9 or whatever. You know, the usual stuff, right? But if you're going to do like some kind of new transition where you include something new that you haven't done before, you kind of have to do it all the time. It's like an all or nothing thing. If you're directing one episode, I don't feel like you can come in and be like, well, my episode is going to be this way, and all you guys, your episodes can have different transitions and different themes and whatever. That's kind of like, am I watching The Walking Dead? Is this The Walking Dead? Are you breaking the fourth wall? Are you taking me out of the experience? Because you can stretch it a little bit, but you can't totally swerve us to do something totally crazy different with The Walking Dead that's so drastically, you know, just totally different that it doesn't feel like Walking Dead anymore, or it just doesn't fit with all the other episodes in the season. That I do have a problem with. So that was basically my criticism of it, is that if you're going to do it, you have to do it all the time. And I get what you guys are saying, that maybe you can fit it in, but like he's saying here, would he really have written a letter to Simon or Jadis or something? Like, yeah, I get it, but it's like, whatever he's trying to go for here, I personally think if you're going to change the stylization, the transitions, the stylization of the show, and how you switch between different point of view characters, like it's a novel or something, which they could have done, that would have fit really well for Game of Thrones. You know, you're reading A Song of Ice and Fire, and right now you're with Tyrion, and you're over here, and then you switch to the other, and they do that a lot. They kind of make it blatant, you know, who you're, in A Song of Ice and Fire, you get to see who you're following. You know, you're here, then you're there, whatever. So that's okay to do that, but if you're going to do it, you kind of have to do it all the time, and they haven't rolled that out as a consistent thing, so I don't think they should keep doing it. Komodo King says, Q&A Trev, I think we all know that Negan is going to live after all that war, but even after Carl's death, Rick still seems dead set on killing him. Do you think he's still grieving, and that's why he's still like that? When do you think Rick is going to come around to the idea of letting Negan live? Maybe when it's all over. Maybe at the very last minute, he'll decide that he's going to make Carl's dream come true. He's going to forgive Negan. He's going to read the letter that Carl wrote for Negan, and he's going to give it to him. And maybe if he kills him, he won't have a chance to give him the letter, and it's what it is. So we'll have to see how it feels, but I really like you know, that they've kind of included all this. And this season, it's been a big theme. Do you kill or not? You know, he sees Daryl kill Morales. Yeah, and so you see that happen, and you're like, no, darn it, Daryl, what are you doing? You can't just kill everybody. So they've really kind of brought in this theme of when to kill, you know, what's the right thing to do. And I think that it'll probably be pretty smooth when we get close to the finale. We'll see how they set it up and what it looks like. But I'm sure, you know, I trust in them that they'll set it up properly, and it'll look right at the end. Toby TV Official says, now this is an episode Angela Kang will save the show, and we will wrap it up there. So hopefully, you know, if you guys liked episode 10, that was written by the new showrunner for season 9, who's starting next year. Looking forward to it, looking forward to seeing what the new feel of The Walking Dead is, and what these new projects are. Fear the Walking Dead season 4. Lots of awesome stuff coming. Great time to be a fan of The Walking Dead still. And, you know, I'm happy that a lot of people hate on AMC all the time. We hate on AMC a lot. But they're producing a lot versus, you know, just having ended the show a couple years ago or something. They're producing, giving fans what they want, and that's, you know, that's a good thing. We should appreciate that they're producing for us, they're doing stuff, and even if they're producing more than what some people want, it's better than them shutting the show off totally and canceling Fear and all that and saying, ah, screw it, we'll find some other show. Let's do another Turn or something, or I don't know, let's do some other series, you know, Terror or whatever the next series is they're going to try to promote. That'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, and I hope you did, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you do and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. You can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom. Also, click the bell to turn on notifications. That's it for this video today. See you guys again soon tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, saying peace. See you guys soon.